listening to the Gettin Salty Experience podcast.
If you're looking for a gift for that special firefighter in your life, then head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com. Yes, GettinSaltyApparel.com. What do we have? Well, we carry hand-drawn original t-shirts, glassware such as mugs, shot glasses, pint glasses, engraved Arctic cooler cups, and much, much more. There's also a full line of firefighter tool bottle openers like Halligans, nozzles, and wine bottle opener accesses too. And if you're a cigar smoker, congratulations! We have partner sauce cigar cutters and humidors. Think we're done? Far from it. We got toiletry, gear bags, koozies, a full line of hats, decals, sweatshirts, and once again, so much more. We can also personalize most of these products, and if you want discounts, hey, you've come to the right place. We got discounts on large orders for promotion dinners, weddings, as well as installation dinners. Just head on over to GettinSaltyApparel.com. The First Responders Center for Excellence is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to protecting the lives and livelihoods of first responders. Their education and research initiatives aim to bring greater awareness and understanding the challenges to the health, safety, and well-being of firefighters, EMS personnel, and other first responders too. They are an affiliate of the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation.
ArmorTough interlocking floor tiles are the best choice to replace new or aging, stained, or cracked concrete or epoxy floors. Here's why. ArmorTough tiles come with a lifetime warranty and are usually installed in 1 or 2 days, depending on the size of your station, with virtually no disruption in daily operation. ArmorTough interlocking tiles are guaranteed from chipping, cracking, peeling, breaking, or staining. Once installed, the tiles are non-skid and non-slip and meet the ADA standards for the friction coefficient. The tiles are stain resistant and impervious to any chemicals or volatiles that are used in the fire service. Once installed, your floor will be easy to clean with just soap and water. Install an ArmorTough tile floor in your apparatus bays, offices, training rooms, workshops, exercise rooms, kitchens, banquet halls, or any other room in your station. Call Vince today for a no-obligation quote at 908-917-7697. Why install a breakable epoxy floor that will need replacing in 5 to 10 years when you could have a floor that will last a lifetime? Drop a Halligan on an ArmorTough floor and you won't see any damage. Don't try this with concrete or epoxy. Join the hundreds of career and volunteer fire departments nationwide who have chosen an ArmorTough interlocking tile floor. ArmorTough interlocking tiles are half the price of epoxy and will last a lifetime without issue. Again, call Vince today for a no-obligation quote at 908-917-7697.
Good evening, Leatherhead Nation. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of the Gettin Salty Experience. Tonight, we team up with the boys over at Capital City Industries as they help Kev get his dad's old helmet back to display ready. We're going to dive into Capital City's daily operations, the restoration of the helmet, and at the end of the video, we're going to go for a fun ride. So pull up your bootstraps, grab your lid, and get you a cold drink, and let's go to work.
Okay, just take you through a day-to-day of what we do here. I'm also going to try to explain to you where we started from and what we've become. So, we started out around 2008 dabbling with helmets. 2010 started to take it more seriously and became an actual business. And what we started out doing was taking a product and making it better. And better in the sense of making it retro. So if you look at this, when I grew up, this is how fire helmets came. I mean, I know it's a modern helmet with an impact cap and the stickers, but to me this is what a helmet would look like. The old timers, their helmets would look like this. A little smaller, straight leather inside. Basic, but it always got the job done. But when we say retro, it has this brass piece on it. It has a flatter brim. You just take this helmet, you throw it on like a baseball cap. And when I got on the job, they issued helmets like this. I had no idea that they had changed everything. Stickers were high in the dome. The domes were actually bigger. You ended up with a cowboy bend. And the fitment wasn't anything like I had ever seen. Where you put this helmet on, and it's all done based on a ratchet. So the way that this thing sits, if you tuck everything in, sits high in the head, and it's very wobbly. So not only did we start out as fixing the fitment to make it retro, where you went from this to something like this. We throw in like a ball cap. But we also got into changing the cosmetics, where this is the modern look, and we try to bring it back to this look, retro. So we have our own trim made for us. We have our own brass made for us. And we take a modern helmet like that, and we make it look like this. As far as the insides go, we also have our own ear flaps and liners made for us. So we take the innards, such as these ear flaps, this brown liner. We'll take all this out. We'll take the ratchets out too, like this. And we'll put our setup inside so that the helmet will actually fit your head. And you can tailor the size to your head with a sizing band that's inside of it. And we'll show that later on. Regardless of whatever the modifications do to the helmets, whether it's OSHA, NFPA, we treat it like a hot rod shop. Customer says, hey, I want X, Y, and Z done. We'll oblige because you wear it at your own risk. We also think, though, that there is something to be said about a helmet that will stay on your head as opposed to this, where you get it out of the box. And again, it's all relying on a ratchet. We'll even take it a step further. This is what modern regulations have come to. This gets thrown on your head, and you're expected to crank that down. That's not the way a fire helmet should be, at least in my opinion. Fire helmet should be more like this. No ratchet, it's sized to your head, thrown like a ball cap. Good to go. Fits low on your head, fits right over the mask. There's no adjustment to mess with. It's tailored to you. And then the other thing that we do is conversions as well. So this fitment where you've got no ratchet, you've got a brass band here. This was invented back in like the 1930s. So it's tried and true technology. Even helmets such as this, again, this is a very old helmet, but it has a brass retaining band and a liner. So that's how you're able to just take it and throw it on your head. A lot of modern helmets, if not all of them, rely on that ratchet, that one size fits all. And the only thing this ratchet is doing is when you tighten it down, it's forcing your head to go forward into the forehead pad. It doesn't allow for a true fit. If you're going to change the sizing of a helmet, you should change the entire circumference. But instead, they cheaped out and they went with the ratchet. So what we're able to do is they get a fitment like this, not only in this helmet, you're also able to get it in a variety of helmets. So take this thermoplastic 880 as an example. This is a modern fire helmet. These have been made since the 1970s, but they've had modern renditions of it sold even today. A lot of variations exist, but it's thermoplastic, and all the innards have been replaced with a brass band and our ear flaps. So there's no ratchet. You just take the helmet and throw it on like a baseball cap. And right now it's a little loose. To show the sizing of how you can adjust it, again, this is tried and true technology from the 1930s. Here's your sizing band. You unsnap this, you dial in your size. Tuck everything back in. Put those ear flaps in nice and neat. Nice and tight now. It's adjusted to me. It's adjusted and I can just throw it on like a ball cap. I don't have to mess with the knob. I don't have to have a ratchet thing into my ears. A ratchet will cause a helmet to dip down like this. But this, I can just throw it on and I'm comfortable. So that's an 880. We have conversions available for the Bend 2, which is what New York wears, where we've stuffed the band into it as well. So again, a different brand, and you can just throw this helmet on like a ball cap, like so. It's adjusted to be big, but I can dial the size down to 7 1/4 if I wanted to. And there's no ratchet. And it sits low on my head. I'll go to these TL2s, the other leather helmet that's on the market. Take a brass band, install it. Again, 1930s technology. So you can have a ball cap fit, tailored to your head. We have other lids we work on, like a TC1. It's a Phoenix product again. We've done a band to it. But between doing cosmetics, doing the bands, we do a bunch of other things too. We do general repairs, which we'll show on the other side. You can hear them hammering away. They're fixing everything. But we did a tour with Kubes already, but we'll give you a quick rundown. There's Charlie. Charlie's doing some admin work. He's inventorying all the new 80s that just came in. And we have Rich. Rich is doing some parts prep. Making chin strap clips for us. Custom chin straps. We have Ben. Ben's working on a TL2, putting bands into them. Also, when I say that everyone that works here is a fireman, very specific as far as who we hire. That's not for nothing, good help is hard to find, I should say. So we've kept it to family-owned and people that we know. So when I say people we know, pretty much everyone here is a fireman except for my wife. She was an EMT in Hartford, so she knows the deal. But been a fireman for 16 years. Jake has been on a job for 5+. He's doing the videoing. Rich is on the other side, 28+ years. My father retired with 28 years. There's Ben with 5+, Pat with 5+. The only oddball would be Charlie and Pat Hury, which you saw before. Charlie is a New Britain fireman, but he's family. He's a Driscoll. His father's on the other side hammering away. And Pat Hury being the oddball, he's a heavy equipment mechanic. He works on our fire trucks in Hartford. He's a Hartford guy. So we've kept it all-inclusive so that when we come here, it's no different than being at the firehouse, which I think is pretty cool. We come here, we all share the same interests, the same likes, and we all share the same problems. So it's no different than going to work and bitching all day. So now we'll go to the other side and we'll check out what it is that we can do.
The Capital City Sweatshop.
Yeah.
So walk us through, bro. What do we do here?
So what we do here is we repair and work on firemen's helmets all over the country. We don't really repaint helmets anymore. There's certain things that we don't do, major repairs, even though we're going to do a repair on yours.
Right.
Come out of retirement for that one. But what we do is we take someone's helmet and we just make it better. We'll make it fit and look like an older helmet from the 70s, 80s.
Right.
We'll take other brands and make it look like an older Carnes helmet, which I'll show you on the other side. But for now, like we have the two goons here.
Two guys laughing. It looks like they're having a good time while at work anyway.
My guys.
Who we got here?
This is Ben.
Ben, how are you?
doing?
Where you from?
Middletown,
Middletown.
Yeah.
You work in what department?
Hartford Fire.
Oh, that place? I heard they
Tap
look
one.
good. I heard their shit. Those guys did it. No,
Yeah,
actually,
they suck.
I've been told by Pro
Yeah.
Cucini that you guys are the busiest in the state. No kidding, on the way up. That's what he said. And this guy over here?
This is Pat Driscoll.
Pat?
How's it
Nice
going?
to meet you. Great mustache.
Thank
Also
you.
known as
We got
our
a little
AD
mullet?
hire. He checks a lot of
A little
boxes
mullet
for us.
going?
He's got the mullet going, bro. Check it out. Business in the front, party in the back.
It's gotta be
Gotta have
there.
it.
Yeah. And then we got, everybody knows this guy right over here.
Got the old man.
Old Man River. There he is.
How you doing?
Look at the pipes throwing out there, bro. He's had a curl or two in his life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So this is Lee Shapiro, retired from Hartford Fire. So
Retired chief.
Retired
Excuse
chief.
me. Mhm.
Oh, pardon.
Wasn't he like the chief of, what was he? He wasn't even higher than a regular chief, right? Where was he? What? Wasn't just a battalion chief, right?
District chief, right?
District chief, right. Come on.
He used to be a big deal. Retired.
He was a big deal in Hartford. Now he's, what's his name? Oh, that guy.
Yes,
Right.
that guy.
All right, so what do we got back here, man? Let's walk in. Check out what we got in here. This definitely does look like an old speakeasy down here, bro.
Oh yeah.
Where's the booze?
So this is the hangout area and also where we keep all of our overflow. So
This is like your little buff area here.
yeah, so this is just a display for customers when they come in, plus a lot of my own stuff. So this is all Hartford stuff.
Yep, there's your hook, right? That you guys
Yep.
kind of redeveloped, right? Somebody actually came up with that a long time ago.
This was designed over 100 years ago, but we redesigned it to modernize it. We made it all out of metal.
And it's called the Hartford hook, right?
We call it a Hartford hook. It's just a plaster hook,
Okay.
but we've used it on.
Plaster hook. And benefits over a regular hook?
Well, I won't say it's better or worse than anything, but with this design, it's sharpened on the top, so you can cut into your material. The plaster will just fall to the ground, and you bury it in. You turn
Right, is that
it.
what you did up here so you can practice?
It's someone else's house. But it cuts right through everything. It's
Right.
sharpened on one side, it cut through chicken wire, which we do get a lot in the city. And I mean, you can snake under your material and just, you can do a lot with it.
Right, and you sell out here. You have a website?
We do.
What's the website, brother?
CapitalCityIndustries.com.
CapitalCityIndustries.com. Here's some more buff stuff. Here's an original Hartford hook.
Yep. This is
Oldie. How old
very
is that
old.
bad boy?
Probably, 60, 70 years old.
Uh-huh.
Straight out of the city.
Huh. So your father was using that back in the day.
Yeah, that's him right there, actually.
Come on. Look at that guy. Let's get a little close up on that. He's got the Hartford hook there. Young son of a gun, that guy. And, oh, look, more helmets.
So, more Hartford stuff. Stuff I've acquired over the years. So,
Now, this is just display stuff, right?
yeah, just stuff for guys to look at. You know, I'm partial to the TAC because I work there.
Uh-huh.
But we have stuff from the TAC 1, TAC
That's
2.
what the green front piece there.
Green. So when they started the rescues in 1982, it was because they were looking to shut down 2 engine companies.
Uh-huh.
So engine 3 and 6, the city and the chief figured a way to save the manpower by making them into rescues, but they didn't have the money or the training to call them rescues at the time.
Right.
So instead of going with blue and doing similar to what New York does, they called them tactical units and made them green.
Okay.
And then when they got the money, they got the training, they got new rigs afterwards, they just never changed it. It stayed tactical unit, but they did switch to blue in the 90s.
And you are, in fact, on a rescue or a tactical
I am.
one, right?
Yeah,
And you wheel that thing like you stole it. You're the chauffeur?
I do.
Beautiful. Look at that. There's a little capital city up there. Love it. And these are yours. And where'd the wife go? She was working in here, hard at work, right?
Yeah, so she's back here. We've converted the entire basement into a shop space, so this is our shipping and receiving
There's
area.
the lovely missus.
So that's my wife, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Hard at work.
And she
Family that works together.
she ships the helmets out. She does all the paperwork. She does all the invoicing. So this is her area here.
Nice.
And all these racks are helmets that we are gearing up to work on. So these are all to be invoiced and be paid for. These are helmets going to Taylor's Tins. Taylor's a phenomenal person. These are all helmets that we finished up already. You know, we don't paint per se, but every now and then we'll get a request to paint a composite. So,
Right.
you know, my brother, who's not here, he paints these for us.
Nice.
So he painted this in a nice satin
So
white.
it is a family-run business.
It is.
Top to bottom.
It's family run, and
Now, did you start it or Pop started?
I started it.
You started it.
Yeah.
Pop came in. Nice.
Well, he was very beneficial because I started it in his kitchen table.
Oh, that kind of helps.
Yeah. From his table to his garage, and then I worked out of her father's house for a little bit, and then we moved here, and it's been here ever since.
Excellent. I love it.
So again, these are all that we've worked on, and one of the cool things with what we do here is you got to be a Hartford fireman to work here.
Really? I'm out. Sorry. How many guys you got working for you total?
Well, we have the old man, that's one. Kelly's two. We
Patchy?
have Pat, Ben. We have Rich, who's coming, and we have Pat Hury, that's 6. All in Hartford. And yeah, Quentin, 7. So 7 guys.
7 guys. That's pretty big payroll.
Pat can't
Big
be
operation.
here. Yeah, Pat's one of our mechanics at the machine shop,
Right.
but he's working on the trucks today. Everyone else is, even though we're all in Hartford, besides Pat Hury, we're all in the line.
Excellent.
So
So you're doing it too?
Mhm.
Love guys that doing it. I know a couple of firemen. They're retired. They have their own business. You know, yeah. Got a pretty good podcast that you guys will be on. Check it out. Gettin Salty Experience.
So this is just again more Hartford stuff. This was actually his.
Is that yours? Yeah. Nice.
That was
Look
his
at that
last
bad
bid
boy.
before he made chief.
Beautiful.
Some of these are real old too. Some of these I would wager they're as old as your father's helmet. Like this is old.
Wow. People buy these off the internet all the time, right? Like eBay.
They do.
and-
Yeah, this is where I got some of these. Like Hartford switched to composite in the 40s because of World War II. Went back to leather. Engine 12 doesn't exist anymore. It's closed.
Well, that's a keepsake then, brother.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, it's just stuff that I've gotten over time.
Right.
Now, you mentioned with your father's helmet, he had it fitted to his head.
Right.
So, back in the day, if you took a trip to New Jersey, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a sticker in there.
I see it. Yeah.
So, when you put the hat machine on your head, it would take a measurement and would give you a shape of your head as well. And it would take a sticker. It would basically crap out a sticker of your dimensions, and they would put it inside the helmet here. And it would have your size, it would have your information. So that's how you would get size to a helmet.
Right. And they would build the helmet according to your size, or they had a whole bunch of sizes that would just fit.
They would pre-build them,
Right.
but you could special order if you wanted an oval shape or if you wanted round.
Right.
It's in their catalogs. But if you went down there and you said, hey, you know, let me get measured, and you turn out to be a 7 or 6 7/8, they would pull one off the rack based on your size.
Right. And just give it to you.
Yeah.
But if you had a giant dome, maybe they have the special making one.
They would special order one for you.
Gotcha.
So pretty cool stuff.
I like it. I like the history.
So
I like the family part of it too.
these are all that we're going to be working on at some point in time. I mean, we get all sorts of odds and ends here for lids. You know, like this one. This guy may just want a liner or want a suspension put back into it.
Right.
Something as simple as that. Composites, like this one. somebody wants a newer composite helmet to look like an old school Carnes helmet, so we got the inside, put a band in there to make it fit like a leather, we put our brass. Everything on this rack is different.
Yeah.
Which is one of the cool things.
It's fun. Guys have a real personal attachment to their helmets more than anything, bro.
They do. You know, a helmet for a guy is like a cop to his gun.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yep.
And then, no, this side is the working side.
Right. So here's your sales side, here's your working side.
Mm-hmm. I would have done something.
And there's Procaccini again. We have too much stuff, and we gotta get on it.
So again, more lids to be worked on. We have our parts rack here. 3 different workstations. Pat usually works there. Ben works here. My workstation, we have more overflow. I mean, there's helmets everywhere.
There are. Looks like you have no shortage of work coming in, bro.
No shortage at all. We're actually, you know, even though this rack is empty, I just dropped these helmets off from my brother's house so we can paint them. So that rack is full as of a week ago.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
And then one of the other things that we'll do is like this. This is brand new from major manufacturers. So again, like I showed you that newer style helmet with that giant eagle on it.
Yeah.
So we'll take a new helmet and we'll doctor it up so that it looks like this. You know?
Yeah, man.
Like straight out of 1992.
I like it. Old school. Old school, 92 old school. And then all right, so speak on this lid, bro. Tell me what you know about this.
This lid, there are guys out there that know more about these older ones than I do, but by looking at it, there's no letter code on the disc here.
Mm-hmm.
The letter code would be there.
Right.
If there was a letter code, it would have a date corresponding with it. So since there's no code, it's probably before 1949.
1949?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So anywhere from probably the 1930s to 49, based on no code, two-tone brass, and it's also engraved.
So how would he get it in 1960 then?
New old stock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it? Because his initials, he put his initials on the inside of it.
Yeah, they're in there.
Now back. So do you find that the ones that they used to fit to your head fit better than the ones that they have now with the ratchet?
Yeah, because you could put the helmet on, you could bend over.
Dude, I must have the same size head as my father because I can put that thing, I can break dance with that thing. It's not coming off, man.
Yeah, they were much better. And what we try to do here is replicate that fit on newer helmets.
Right. So what are you going to do to this one before you show me the other one? What's going to be the process? What are your plans as you iron it up?
You just want to make this look presentable, right?
Yeah.
So
somebody actually tried to make a repair, I see there.
yeah, so I think the best thing to do would obviously cut this wire, shorten it down, re-weld it so that it matches the curve of the brim, and then I'll try to fill this all in as best I can, blend it together, fill in the edge, blend it, and just touch up exactly where I filled everything in so that we don't lose any character on this helmet whatsoever.
Right. Sweet.
And then you won't have that eyesore, and it'll look presentable on the wall.
Nice. And I don't know how he got, because he's got another one that's not as old as this one, but I guess he didn't have to give that in when he got his other one. He held on to it or something.
Good.
I don't know.
For him.
Yeah, I'll have to show you that one. That one's in decent shape.
It is.
It's old. The other one, too, that he had. He must have got that other one, I'm going to say late 60s, early 70s, probably.
I mean, this thing is damn near 100 years old, probably.
Woo! I like it.
Yeah, in good shape, too.
It really
Sweet. Now put that on. Does that fit on your dome, bro? Let me see.
That's too small.
Too small, right? Got too much hair.
Yeah,
you got too much hair.
Yeah.
Just saying. Maybe he's trying to tease me. Sweet.
Yeah. Good. All right, we're gonna start working on this. This is the helmet that Kubes dropped off. So here's what we're dealing with: a massive split in the brim, right here, and it's also split right here. So this whole chunk is able to fall off at any given time. There is a bead of Gorilla Glue holding it together here. So we got to take off the original repair, fix this, put it all together, shorten the wire, cut it, re-weld it, trench this out, fill it in with new epoxy, smooth it out, blend it in. Do the same on this side, fill in all of this, make it look neat, make it look seamless. So in other words, it's like gluing sawdust together. Not an easy job. So what we'll start with is taking off the existing repair. As you can see, the Gorilla Glue here, that's all got to come off little by little, best we can.
so I can trench all of that out. Looks like there's some body filler on this right here. I mean, if you lose a piece of leather, it is what it is. That was gonna come off anyways. You can see it here. This glue is ready to fall off. That can come off. This is all body filler. Got that blue tint to it. Like that. Take it all off over time. What we're trying to do is expose the actual leather so that when we apply some kind of repair material to this, we're not applying it to an old repair that will fail down the road. We want to apply it to the actual leather, the actual bones of the helmet. So we got that chunk off, and I'll have to get this stuff off here. It'll take some time. There's a good chunk of it right here. It's not going to hold up, but I just exposed all the real leather right here, so we can sand that down, get down to some good bones of leather, put some new repair material on there, and make it work. And same thing from the underside. There's all that Gorilla Glue, so we have to remove all of that, trench it out here, redo the epoxy, clean up the edges here so we can lay down some more epoxy, get rid of this material, and then we have to shorten the wire. And when I say shorten the wire, it's as simple as doing this. I mean, I know it looks crude, but it works. I'm going to take this wire, I'm going to shape it into where it would sit into that trench of leather, and we're going to cut it and re-weld it right about here so that it'll hold this brim together the way it's supposed to. And there's some more repair material that's going to come off. Bluish tint, which is body filler. This Gorilla Glue. I don't want to hand it back to Kubes with all this stuff on there. Trying to leave it better than we found it. So it's going to take a good day of getting this stuff out, but it'll be worth it. And then we'll move on to prepping the leather and applying the epoxy and whatever else we have to do. We're going to try to weld the brim wire up. The problem we have with the brim wire is it's blown out that much. And we need it to match the actual curve of the brim. So we're gonna fix that. We already clipped it. We can go in by that much. See the overlap? Even from this angle, quite a bit. Give this brim a little more structure. Get that wire back to where it should be. This happens because the leather shrinks and the wire expands with heat, so normal. We've already prepped a little bit over here. We'll finish digging all this out later on. We'll repair that later on. For now, let's just get this brim where it needs to be with the wire, and we'll go from there. So this is gonna come off. We're only taking that much off, so we're gonna clip it. Probably go a little more. Put a little bit of a curve on these pieces. Take a little more off. right about there. You see the stitch line right here? You can draw an imaginary line. This will go right like that. So that's the curve you want to be at. And we'll weld it up right there. Okay. We have the welder out, and we'll get set up to do that right now. Inside. I want to get a slag going inside and melting the original liner. I know I don't have any eye pro on, so I'm gonna do it a little old school and close my eyes. Don't look at the light. Get it from this side. I don't think it gets much cleaner than that. You want to take a close-up of it? So I'll reinforce it, but it's welded from here to here on this side, and then the other side, you can see as well. So I'll add a little more, beef it up. That should do it. We're burning the midnight oil here. This is after hours. It's like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm trying to get some work done on the helmet here, Kubes. I've got it prepped enough so that the wires are already cut and welded together. We showed that earlier. I've got this area secured. All the leather here has been prepped. I got the paint and the original repair off. Same with on the back side here. It's a little hard to see, but this is the existing paint, the body filler, and this is all down to bare leather right here, here, and down to here. And like I said, I already fixed this spot. Started in this area just to hold everything together. The clamp is to keep the wire in this curvature here, because the leather wants to pop that way, the wire wants to come this way. So the clamp is holding it all together until this sets and dries, and I'll put another bead of epoxy on this side to set it in place as well. when I'm done with all this, and it's finally all said and done, I'm gonna sand everything, blend it all together. I'm not gonna be sanding from here all the way over because I wanna keep as much character as possible. So I'll be sanding just from like here to here, blend it all in. Obviously I'll sand and repair down up top, make it look good, and then I'll focus on at least fixing this. This is just Gorilla Glue holding this together. So trench it out, apply some kind of epoxy in there, smooth it out real nice, touch it up, make it look good. And the biggest thing to stress too is that this is just a cosmetic repair. We don't really do repairs like this anymore. More of a favor, if anything, because this is going to be a real nice wall hanger when it's done. We'll dabble here and there with repairs, but a full-blown epoxy repair like this for a lined helmet, it's almost like on borrowed time, because from here to here with that much epoxy doing most of the work that the leather should do. You drop it a couple times, it's susceptible to cracking. You want a solid brim out of leather if you're going to do it. So, cosmetic only. For a helmet that's going to be hung on a wall, this is a very good opportunity to keep it cosmetic, because we'll keep the same lines of the helmet. We'll blend this whole crack in. I mean, you could go balls to the wall and try to rivet a piece of leather in here or stitch it together, but the separation of leather was like that wide. So what else are you gonna do? So we'll just fill it in. The epoxy that we're using is just stick epoxy, a high heat variety. JB makes a lot of products that are good for this. Wet it, mash it in your hands, get it malleable, and we're just gonna do arts and crafts. Cram it into here as best we can, ever so carefully. We'll get it under and around the wire. Probably go as far as here. Don't get too close to that clamp. So again, it's not going to look like much up front, but I'll show you what happens with more and more that I apply. So now that it's wrapped the wire, I'm going to keep applying more to build up a base. Press it in real good. When it's a little moist, because we dump it in the water, it allows me to press it into the leather, get a better bond. If I just sent it in dry as is, mashing it up from the stick, it would just kind of sit on top of the leather and I wouldn't really catch it all that well. Carefully flip this around. Now I'm going to do from here over. So, we'll start by going near the wire, cramming that epoxy in there real well. It's almost like working with Play-Doh. For those of you that have kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Smeared right there, just to clean that up. This whole edge is going to get dyed anyways, but I want to retain as much character as possible. Alright, so the back side has enough, this side has enough. Now I got to build up the edge. Just apply a bead, work it in. A little short, I'll cut a little more if I have to. By doing this side here first, from here to here, and then having already done this, when this all sets and dries, I can unclamp the wire and it's going to stay exactly where I have it pinned. So it's kind of like a 3 or 4 day project. Now, remember I said this side's gonna look like shit. It obviously does, but I'll show you what's gonna happen. Let me just apply a little bit more. I don't want to downplay this kind of repair because I've done quite a few over the years and they've held up really well. But this is a nod to one of my guys. The reality of it is that there's so much epoxy that's going to be holding this together that our frontline helmet, you want a structurally sound helmet held together with leather. So they are good for smaller repairs. Massive repairs like this, I would think about hanging up the helmet. All right, there's a couple different ways to get your edge. And by the edge, I mean where the leather folds over onto the brim, you've got a hard edge right here. You're gonna wanna simulate that with the repair. So you can either glob it all on there and let it set and cure, give it a few days, and then come back with a Dremel wheel and cut your edge in, or you can cheat like this. Working away at getting that shape that you want. Now, I'm not going to do the full curve right here just because I have to join the section from here to here. So I'd rather just come up a hair so I can apply the next round of epoxy and actually cut a curve into it with my nail. From here to here, you know, I've got high spots and it tapers down so I can apply the epoxy from here back over to this side. And I'm not joining the pieces like this. I'm overlapping them, if that makes any sense. And then the other side as well, you know, I've got it applied. I've got the curve that I want from here over. Again, there's a couple high spots. It's all gonna get knocked down in sanding. I've got the edge done on the top here. And looking from the top side down, I've got a good thickness of the epoxy as well, as you can see. So the thickness of this brim is matched with the epoxy. And again, it'll all get matched in the end with some sanding. And then I'll have to figure out how to match the transition here with the flange of the dome, going from here all the way over, because there was really nothing left here. So I'll have to build it up here as best I can and then cut in a fake flange line into the epoxy, just cosmetically. I had to fill all this in to give this thing some structure. I mean, this thing was so warped and out of round. Between the wire expanding from heat, from use, the leather shrinking from being in fires, and then, you know, time taking its course, this thing's in rough shape. But we'll get it done. So that's it for this phase, and then we'll come back and try to do some more. And shout out to my guys from BA Shields. Okay, we made the repairs here and here, and next thing is we're going to try to correct all this. So to do that, I have to trench it out from here to here, and then we can lay down some new epoxy, and we can sand everything. I got to do the same on the top side. I have to trench it all the way out from here to here and just clean up the old repairs so that this thing is going to look seamless. And I'll do that through here with the sanding box.
All right, here are the repairs. Next up is to sand them. So I'll have to blend all this in here and here, sand all of this smooth. I opted against filling that in. I'm just going to clean it up as best I can and touch it up, because if I globbed more material on here, it would take away from whatever scroll work is left, and I don't want to do that. Plus, yeah, there is a crack here, but there's a crack there, there's a crack there, and where does it end? So just leave it alone. As far as the back side, it's all been filled in, so I'll blend this all in. This is going to give this crack the structure it needs to stay in place, and then this has all been built up so that I can sand it down and blend it in. So I'll do that next. Okay, all the machine work is done. I've sanded as much as I can using that palm sander, so I'm going to do the rest by hand. All the little crevices, the edge here, into the corner, I can't get a machine in there, so I have to do it by hand. So it's just a matter of taking your time, working the paper in there, smooth it out. And you got to work up the grit. So 60 grit to 150. I've got some 220, and I'll finish up with like 400 grit to really get it smooth. I got to do this part too. It's nice and easy. Blend everything together.
And now is the time?
You want to see the tower ladder?
Let's go play. Can we go play? And there it is. Air Shapiro firing up the Mac tower ladder. Buff! I'm sorry, buff. They call them buffs out here or whackers? Are they buffs or whackers out here?
Depends on what level.
This is pretty high up the level, bro. When you have did he build this barn just for this truck? You built this barn just for this truck.
What's that?
You built this barn just for this truck? You're a fucking maniac. You're a maniac. That is a level that I've never seen before, my friend. Building up some air pressure. Nice.
Sold. Sold here.
What year is this?
1978.
1978, the war years. Where'd it come from?
It was originally in Florida.
This was in Florida? A Mac tower ladder like this?
Yeah.
What part of Florida?
Coconut Creek.
Really?
Yeah, they had it for 6 years, and then they sold it to Neptune, New Jersey.
Right.
And then they had it till 2014, and they sold it for $1 to Bradley Beach next door.
They sold it for $1?
Yeah.
And then you bought it from Bradley Beach?
Yep.
Where would you buy one of these? At an auction?
Yeah, it was on an auction. I asked Kelly, hey, would you be okay if we did this? You know, good for the business and whatnot, just on a whim. And
You better kiss that woman's feet, bro.
Oh, and she said yes. Let's go.
Can I even ask you what you paid for something like this?
$4,500.
$4,500? Well, they paid $1 for it. They made some good markup on that thing.
Yeah.
You have to put much into it?
I put a little into it because the boom, they got rid of it because the boom was leaking.
Yeah.
So I had to get that fixed. But probably pass an aerial test today.
And you drive the kids to school in this?
I do.
You're a sick human being.
Well, I pull it out, you'll see their seats in the back.
Nice. Did he let you drive it?
Drove in the parade.
You did? Wow. Now that's a father and son bonding right there.
Yeah, the St. Patrick's Day parade I drove. Funny thing is, when we picked it up, he didn't know how to set it up.
Really? What's up here? Yeah, it shines up nice too, bro. I'm gonna sit in the car seat. I'm calling car seat. All right. It's a nice shape, brother. You got a new pedal over there too? New pedal?
Oh yeah.
Who's got the big boy? Who's got the Federal?
Q?
The Q. Oh, you son of a gun. All right, bro, Mr. Buffaromi. What do we got here? Give us a little history on this bad boy.
So this is a 1978 Max CF tower ladder.
Yep.
And came out of Florida. It went to Neptune, New Jersey, then Neptune refurbed it in '99. So it's been totally refurbished by ITE, and they put a new rear body on it. As you can see, it's got the roll-up Robinson doors.
Right.
And then they updated the bucket. They basically stripped this thing down to the frame rails, sandblasted them, did everything new, and then they sold it in 2014 to Bradley Beach.
Which is next town over?
Next town over. They were looking to update, modernize, plus the boom was leaking, so they sent it to auction. So I put a bid in on a random auction, not expecting to win, and then I won.
Then you had to beg your old lady if you could get it.
Well, I got permission from her first.
Oh, I see.
She was good with it as long as it wasn't going to cost an arm and a leg. So I'm like, all right, well, you say yes, I'm going to go look. So I put the bid in, and I unexpectedly won, so we had to figure out how to get this back here. So I called around towing companies, and they either said, we don't want to drive to Jersey, or they said it's going to be more than what I paid for the truck. So on a whim, we drove down 3 hours, picked it up, and drove it back. It took 7 hours to get back.
Right.
So he tops out at 48 miles an hour.
And who was driving? He was?
I drove, Rich drove for some of it.
Wow.
It was a long time. But we got it back.
Were you praying the whole time?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Want to blow an airline or, pop a tire.
Got it back here.
Yep. It made it back here without a problem, never overheated. And it had originally Bradley Beach on the front. It had stripes going down the side, FDNY style. And
then you changed it. You got the gold leaf here. You said got some guy, right? A sign guy?
Yep. We have one of our graphic artists on the job in Hartford, 10-3 Graphics, Matt Fernandez. He reverse engineered all the graphics from the original Hartford tower ladder that we had, and gave it to a print shop in East Granby, sign plus print, and they lettered the whole thing.
Even up on the boom.
Yep. We had a couple guys from Engine 1 come down and strip all the old decals off, and just got this thing relettered. So Hartford had a tower ladder just like this in 1980, and it looked exactly like this.
So we're gonna get the scanner and we're gonna buff out a couple of boxes and we're gonna jump on first due down in Hartford, right? Is that the plan?
Job comes in the area, we'll take it right now.
All right. I told Ash that he's got to put something up on the bucket here, Capital City FD, and then what? Mercenaries?
One guy says Mercenary Truck Company. The other guy is saying Capital City Trucking Company.
Either or, put them both on there somewhere, bro. You gotta make a patch and Capital City Trucking Company.
Oh, we'll get something.
Mercenaries for hire. Woo, woo.
Most definitely. So this truck is fully operational. The boom works. Should pass an aerial test. It's roadworthy. And other than putting some tools on it, I mean, they gave us a full complement of
You
ground
got ladders too, ground ladders in here. I love it.
We got everything.
You need the Needleman in here, bro. Gets a little stinky. Nice.
So
I guess it was 190.
Yeah, 190 was a truck company.
That's why you gotta put on the Capital City, brother.
And when we got it back, I didn't even have a way to cover it, so I had a few left over.
Oh, when did you get this thing?
Some leftover shekels we put into this. So
Beautiful.
This went up a few months ago to cover the truck.
Nice, big old barn.
Yeah.
Big old garage. Everybody has a big old barn garage for their power ladder, don't they? All right, let's fire this baby up, man. I'm gonna get down on the passenger side. Do I gotta get out and crank it or something like the 1900s? Contact.
My father's first car.
Woo! Your neighbors get pissed if I honk on the horn?
We'll get in the street and do that.
All right, we'll go to the street and do it.
I'm gonna take the seats out. You got a few minutes?
Yeah. Right, let's go, bro.
Ready?
Contact.
Do it.
Got a full crew back there. Take it in the box. I guess this is what it feels like to be an officer. Never had that. Once, I'm lying. Somebody tapped out. I was acting officer for a night tour.
Oh, there goes the mailbox.
Wheeling it like you stole it. What?
Horse here.
What?
They changed the wire.
What the fuck? I don't even have the horn by my foot. Wheeling it big, old squaring up the turn. Oh, if this lady could talk, bro, right?